Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Toria.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. YPN people, I don't know about you, but I love helping out a friend. That's why I want to shout out my friend Brian Little and his podcast, Your Favorite Blockhead. This is the only show that manages to weave together peanuts and MMA into one heck of an amazing podcast. You can find Your Favorite Blockhead wherever your favorite podcasts reside and at yourfavoriteblockhead.com. Do me a huge favor and listen to Brian's show. You'll be entertained and you'll help out a friend. Now, as I said, let's get into today's topic. So you know how we like to watch reality television shows?
Somewhat.
And then I don't even know who got whom into that 90 Day Fiancé show.
It was me. It's all my fault.
And we got hooked on that show and we would watch like every single season. And then somehow they got smart and they decided that after each season they would create another level of 90 Day Fiancé show.
90 Day Fiancé.
That carried
90
it on a
Day
little bit
Fiancé
further.
before the 90 days. 90 Day Fiancé the other day. 90 Day Fiancé happily ever after.
Yeah. So now
90 Day Fiancé pillow talk. And now
this is 90 Day Fiancé happily ever after is where these characters come from.
Well, they were on 90 Day Fiancé first.
Yes, but they come from the latest is from the happily ever after. We have Pedro Jimenez and Chantel Jimenez, or Jimeno, I think,
well,
in
if you get
the
there.
show called Family Chantel. I love it. I love to hate it. I hate to love it. All of those things are true.
You're kind of a freak.
All of these things are true. And I am pissed off about the Family Chantel for a lot of reasons.
And here we go.
Like you, for instance. You always tend to support her, and you blame Pedro for the problems. I don't blame Pedro for all of the problems. I blame her. Because
you're starting your rant out on a lie?
How did it start?
On what planet do I always support her, and why are you lying to our listeners?
Most of the time you support her.
I am the one who says her family hates him, and it's entirely her fault. And I've said it from the beginning.
And why is it entirely her fault?
Because she's a liar.
Exactly. She told them that he was there on a student visa when he was really there on a fiancé visa. And then she tells them with 4 days to go that they're going to get married in 4 days? I mean, was it even less than that?
I think it was less. I think it was 2 days.
So, of course, they're suspicious and not going to like him. You know, they've had their problems because the families don't like each other very much on either side of the coin. In my personal opinion, the Family Chantel themselves are lunatics. They're just crazy. But Family Pedro, just as crazy. It's really weird. The two people who come from super crazy families fell for one another. It's just weird.
And their families aren't even the same breed of crazy, so they don't get along.
So they open the show, and Chantel's in the car, and she's driving her brother, River. And it looks like they're coming back from college or taking him home from school or work or something, and they're chatting about the trip. It's like an idiot. Here we go again. She tells him that the trip to the Dominican Republic did not go well.
Yeah.
And she tells him why. So they're back at the house, and the brother's like dropping, the hint that something's going on. And what does the dad of the Family Chantel say? I'm going to quote him. We definitely need to know what happened. Why? How old is Chantel? 25?
I have no idea.
Got to be at least 25. There's Chantel, and he's got to tell her that she needs to tell him what happened? No, she doesn't. Actually, what she needs to do is keep it between her and her husband and let them work on it. Because ultimately, that's who the relationship is between. It's not between her and her family and her husband. It's not between her and her husband's family and her husband. It's between her and her husband. And she needs to start acting that way. But she tells the family about what that Obed guy told her, that the mom and dad of the mom and sister, sorry, not dad, of Pedro were trying to find a, quote, dumb American to marry him off to. Now, even if that's true, does that say Pedro did anything wrong?
Nope.
Because it doesn't say Pedro knew about it. She tells the family that, what it was about. And then her mom is like, yeah, I knew that all along. It's kind of sad because it's kind of a form of, and this cracks me up, body trafficking. She means human trafficking. So this loonbag family jumps into a car.
No, you're missing a key point. Her mom grabs her taser out the drawer.
That was coming next.
And leads the charge to the car.
They get in the car. And Chantel gets in her own car, and they boogie on over to Chantel and Pedro's apartment. And what does Mama Chantel pull out? Damn taser.
She didn't pull it out. She was leading the charge with it out the house.
Pedro should have called the police right then and there. It would have all been over with.
Yeah.
And the fact that he didn't tells me that he actually does want to work the situation out.
Or at least doesn't want it to get worse.
He tells him to leave, that he doesn't want to talk, especially not right then. And they insist on speaking further about what Obed said. That's what they just said to him. They didn't lead up to it. They just dropped it on his head.
Uh-huh.
And he said, and they say that their grown daughter should leave with them. After all the time of him telling them to leave, they're saying their grown daughter should leave with them. I mean, and then Winter has to chime in, the sister. Why is Winter even there?
She can't help herself.
So then Pedro tells him to leave, and the mom says, well, I'm not ready to leave. So Pedro grabs the car keys and storms out, threatening to drive. Every single person is suddenly concerned about Pedro. Oh my God, Pedro, oh my God. Then River makes the claim that Pedro tried to run the parents over with a car. A complete fabrication. That's not even the whole show. That is like the summary of what happened in that show. And how mad the stupid family makes me. What businesses of it was theirs to go storming over there?
I don't know.
If we lived near your parents, would they be storming over to our house to have a discussion like that?
No.
Of course not. Same with me. It's insane. It is just insane. Come on, let's admit it. These people are loon bags.
I've said it 1,000
And Pedro,
times.
if you're listening to this show, or if someone tells you about this show, you need to come on our show. We need to talk to you. And you can bring Chantel if you want to bring Chantel, but we really want to talk to you. I have questions for you.
Chantel won't come on the show because nobody will be able to see her boobs. It's a podcast.
You know, it's... We could make a special video exception that day and just put the video camera on her.
No.
Well, she is a showboat. Like, it's insane, that woman. She's crazy. But what I find interesting is people are like, oh, you know, they didn't tell us all this on 90 Day Fiancé. They don't have time to. There's a million couples and got to get fit in an hour.
Yeah.
This was just about them.
Yeah, a whole hour of my least favorite 90 Day Fiancé couple.
So I'm going to say something that maybe shocks you just a little bit. Depending upon whether you want to believe the mom and dad Chantel are sincere or not, will depend on whether you like them a little bit or not at all. Notice I didn't say you'd like them a lot. I just said a little bit or not
like
at all. Well, see, I could see where the fact that they want to go to counseling to make things better could be seen as a positive thing.
It is a positive thing, but I
But
still
at the
don't
same
like
time,
them at
though,
all.
when he dropped the bomb, and we haven't seen this yet, but when he dropped the bomb about wanting to move his mom and sister here, she clearly didn't take it so well. So I can only imagine how the parents took it.
Well, we don't know that yet. All we've seen is the stupid previews.
I know. That network has proven that it can fool you with the previews, too.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just think that it's pretty amazing that these two have managed to stay together as long as they have.
You left out the most disgusting part of that episode.
Oh, I'm getting there. I waited for a second. It's Victoria's absolute favorite part of the episode. We've seen the show twice now.
You made me watch it again.
And the
As if I
ladies
didn't
of the
go
show,
fucking blind the first
the
time
ladies of
around.
the show, River, the mother Chantel, I think her
River
name
is
is
a
Karen.
guy.
I think her name is Karen.
River is a guy.
Winter,
Yeah.
Karen, and Chantal go to a dance place. And the mom explains how she loves to dance, but she makes up her own dances. In other words, she likes to spasm her body around the dance floor. So the guy tries to teach them, of all things, to twerk.
Gross.
Now, only Chantal knew how to twerk. The other two did not know how to twerk. And it was hilarious to watch them try.
Disgusting.
You find it disgusting. I found it hilarious.
So gross.
I think it was really funny.
I'm so happy for you.
But the show kind of ends on a positive note with them at counseling, but you know through the previews that he drops the bomb about his mom and his sister.
Yeah, we'll have to
But
see what
I
happens
think there'll
next
be
week.
a lot of drama. My prediction is there's going to be a lot of drama about it. But as you get closer to the end of the year, of the season, she's going to agree to sponsor the mom and the dad, the mom and the sister.
What sucks for her is then she'll be responsible for those whack jobs for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fun show. It's a really fun show.
You say so.
We've kind of been, show's been on a little bit of a hiatus. It came back about a week ago. And it was on a hiatus because we were preparing for a vacation through our work. Then we went on a vacation. Then we've come back and we've had to fix all the backlog that's sitting there because of vacation.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about that coming up. A few episodes here, 1 or 2 episodes. We'll talk about our trip to Flagstaff. We'll talk about all the different things that have been going on. Might surprise some people with some of the things that we touch on, but we're not going to be crazy like the Family Chantel.
I don't think we are capable of being crazy like the Family Chantel.
Well, what was your takeaway from that show, that first episode?
They're all idiots. I think they're all idiots. And I think I'm very glad that we don't live in Atlanta, because that would be too close to those people.
Yeah, it's a true fact, though.
Yeah.
Like, both sides have a warped idea of what's going on. Neither one wants to admit that they're just as bad as the other side.
Right, they're all awful.
And that's why counseling is actually a good idea.
Maybe.
Because there's really no blame there. Everybody's to blame.
Well, I'm sure that blame will be placed.
Well, yeah, in places. I'm sure. I don't doubt it at all. So we're glad to be back. We've got a couple guests lined up coming up here in the near future.
Guests?
Yes, we have guests. I'll tell you more about those after I've reviewed the bookings, but they're interesting. We might have the return of Jackson Horn.
I think we're going to have friendly neighborhood blockhead on so that I can end my feud.
Oh, you chickening out.
He clearly lost. I mean, I don't want to hurt the poor dude.
Because why do you think he lost? I'm going to let you explain it, because I could easily explain it.
I wowed him. Yogi literally dropped a YPN bomb on blockhead. You can see the video on our Instagram page.
Yep. But then didn't he respond with something similar?
Vaguely.
And said something about, we have a network and he has a nation?
Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure he actually has a nation. Pretty sure it's just
it's a nation in name only?
His dog, so...
It's just Charlie Brown and Snoopy.
Yeah.
Well, and the little red-haired girl, because she's on his side too. But we have an entire zoo of animals.
Exactly. So,
and they're all trained to be fatal hunters.
Especially that demon cat right there.
This one here came to us trained to kill.
Yep.
She was an outdoor kitty, and while she was skinny, she wasn't like emaciated skinny, which means she was eating well.
Anyway, Blockhead, that was an invitation.
So Blockhead, you want to come on, you better let us know, but be prepared. Be prepared, Blockhead. Yogi, the CEO, he's not happy with you. Not even a little bit. You are going to need to answer to the Yog of Dogs. And his questions are difficult to answer. He asks hard, pointed, direct questions.
Especially since they're silent and you can't hear
And
them.
he is the Yog of Dogs. He will own you. Give it a shot, Blockhead. Give it a shot.
That. Night, everyone.
Hasta la bye-bye, ya Blockhead. Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.